The AI bubble is changing shape, and you need to understand why. Now, it's connected to two simple things. And once you see, you can't see it. So the narrative is changed from the human will be replaced by AI, and now the new narrative is every single human needs to use AI because this AI can empower you, can be more productive, and so on. So corporations shouldn't fire humans anymore, but should give them AI. Now, if you think about it, it's pretty simple. Okay, to use tokens, you need humans. AI cannot work by itself at the moment. So the promise of AI that replaces human cannot be delivered today, but they need money. They need to justify all those investments. So how do you justify? You increase the use of tokens. To increase the use of tokens, there's only one way now. It's you need humans to use AI. So don't fire them. Please don't fire them. Just give them a computer. Okay, just give them AI. That is the new strategy. That is the new narrative. That also geniusly resolve the problem of the backlashes. Because this idea, this crazy idea of say, okay, AI is going to replace every single human at work, and then there is no plan B. Okay, nobody knows what is going to happen to those humans. It's kind of course, everybody will resist. Give me a plan B, give me an alternative, and then we can discuss. Okay, but there is no alternative. Human will be replaced. Government are not ready to the kind of replacement. Nobody's working about the solution. So of course you're gonna resist. You're not gonna be happy about something like this. And all those backlashes on AI are connected mainly to a financial problem. Plus, those corporations, of course, cannot do things nicely. Okay, they just force their reality on everybody. So that is the two things happening. But let's understand the shape and how it's being managed. So if you look at the bubble shape, so at the beginning, when ChatGPT came out, like 4 years ago, what became clear is that this AI is a revolutionary tool, can do things that before will not be possible to do. Now, was not enough because it was not capable of doing something, usable. What was needed was a narrative that of a promise. Okay, the promise of AI will be so good that will replace every single human at work. Okay, so we will be free from work. That was the beginning of the narrative. Okay, free us from work, just abundance. Then, while the promise was good, okay, I mean, it was kind of good to invest on, but was not enough. Okay, because what you need pressure of investing as soon as possible. What this pressure creates that you don't have enough data to measure the value of the promise. So because the market works out of the price that is the future price, okay, adjust to the future price, not to the current reality. So an AI that can replace human at any kind of jobs, the value is extremely high. Okay, you can basically capture the entire work market, incredibly high. But you need to do it now. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, now you need to push it. So how do you do? Why do you do now? Why there is so fear? Because if you're not part of this, okay, if you're not one of those corporation billionaires that are going to invest in this, you're going to be left behind. You must invest now. But there's also another problem. If China does before us, okay, that is going to be the end. So while US is promising to create this AI, AGI, SAI, that will give us abundance, everybody free from work, the cure of cancer, everything is going to be amazing, everybody will be happy, okay, everything will be free for everybody, okay, that is if US win this race. But if they lose, that is China. China will enslave us all. Okay, that is the narrative, the fear. Now you need to invest. Now there is a way of building this in a way that makes corporation win. This is an old strategy, everybody knows. Okay, which is about creating a monopoly. Okay, basically creating an environment that is so hostile that nobody can join, nobody can compete against you. And there is no better way to make it extremely expensive. How do you make it expensive? And there is a lot of way to develop AI. Okay, they decided the one that will destroy any kind of competition. Money. Okay, you need money to make it happen. And to make it done in that way, you need a lot of compute. So the only way to develop a super artificial intelligence is through compute, more and more power. What is happening now? Doing this kind of model costs billions, trillions. Okay, that's the direction. So it's going to be extremely expensive. More and more. Who can compete in that kind of environment? No, you and I. Okay, so majority of people is left out of this competition. Now there is a handful of corporates that can do these kind of models. That is how they start to go, to rise up, because they destroyed any kind of competition. China, that's as a different idea, okay, what they are building something that is extremely cheap. So now there is this race that it works in a really weird way. But the fact that they are pushing for a higher compute, more money, and so on, what it creates an environment where they need to collect more and more money. So throwing more and more money, and then it becomes so much. The bubble becomes so huge that become clear that this AI that was promised to actually deliver us with an intelligence that will replace human is not happening. Okay, it's not happening, and it's not going to happen in the time needed to actually make those investments valuable. So, what's the change of direction here? Because if those investors that have been promised an AI that will basically capture the entire market, now is not delivering. If you've been using AI, okay, PhD level intelligence is not there. We have knowledge, PhD level, lower intelligence. Now, because this is not delivering, how we can come out from this? So as an investor, you would say, okay, man, there's a problem here, which it's clearly a huge problem. I want to get out. But that would be a massive failure for those companies. So what they need is not to maintain the promise, because the promise cannot be maintained now. What they need is to bring money, okay, make these investments valuable. And if we see, okay, if they make money out of selling token, so they start with this narrative, okay, let's make a leaderboard your company, so the people needs to burn as much token as possible. And that was what NVIDIA was suggesting. I love it. Just this idiot's idea of measuring production through the number of token. Okay, that is only for the people that sell tokens makes sense. For any company, it's not about the number of tokens. It's the ratio between the quality of output and the cost for it. Okay, so in reality, you need to look for the minimum amount of token to create the maximum out of quality of output. That is the ratio that you should measure. No, just burn as much as token so you show that you're productive. Anyway, so they started that kind of narrative, basically to start pushing people to burn token as much as possible. That will require more compute, that will require basically more investments, but also it means that those corporations start to make money because they sell token. Now, there's nothing better than having more human using tokens, because AI has a limit of the amount of token that can use by itself. But there is 8 billion people in this planet. If we spend, if you make, if we start burning token, each one of us, could you imagine the money that they make? So that is the new strategy. The new strategy resolve in parts the problem of the backlashes, because you don't need to be fired. And so it's the perfect strategy. That's how they are changing the shape, because the bubble was about to be burst. Okay, the moment that you can't deliver, okay, the investor won't invest anymore. So how do you actually change the whole thing? You change the way of making money. You're not going to capture the entire workforce, but what you're going to capture is that now every single individual needs to use AI. And somehow it's you can call it a genius move, because it resolves a series of problems. But it's so funny that those people, those CEO, okay, they They just change narrative when they can't deliver, when they made a mess, when they make promises they can support. They just change narrative. But in reality, there is another element to see. Okay, these are gonna allow them more time. Okay, and that's it. Because people will realize again that in reality you don't need the exact same amount of people, because AI plus human plus AI can actually replace a team of people. So those corporations will need at one point to optimize and start firing. Okay, because it's true that some team you will keep it like that and give AI to all of them. Some other team you're gonna shrink them. Okay, you don't need so many people. You can remove some people. So it's not like they always go into this binary idea. Total human replacement, zero human replacement. Really, the world is never, binary. It's always somewhere there, and each corporation needs to make that decision. The one that makes the best decision gonna have the maximum profit. But what is happening for those corporations? Why they push this thing? Because all they are trying to gain is time. Because they are not changed their mission. Their mission is still building AGI, building SAI. Okay, the mission is still replacing every single human with AI. It didn't change. It changed the narrative for now. So what they're gaining is time that allow them to now have more time to get to that point. So experts are saying that 2028 we should have maybe AGI, 2030 maximum AGI. AGI meaning an intelligence can replace every human and every work. There's not an agreed explanation of what AGI is, but more or less we can say that is an AI that can do what a human can do at work. And that is, they think that they can achieve it in between 2 to 4 years. That's the timeline. So they're trying to gain time. This new narrative is gonna give them more time, but not enough time to actually get to that part. So, I mean, if it's 2028, then it's gonna happen. Yes, true. But if not, okay, so they're still gambling with billions, gambling with those companies and so on. It's just incredible. So, what it means for us? For us, it's clearly we need to get out of the games. Okay, we can't just follow those people, what they do, what they say. We are connected because they move billions, so they move reality, but we need to get out of it. So if you've been part of this channel, if you know what I'm doing, what I'm building, the community that I'm building, I'm for AI sovereignty, meaning that we should own the system. We should be out of the that system. So local AI when it's possible, cloud. In reality, we're looking for a mixed scenario, okay, between local sovereign AI and using some of those cloud model when we need or must. What we are doing with this community, we are building our own alternative system called ResonantOS. And if you want to build with us, if you want to be part of this movement, join the community. We are over 1,260, something like this at the moment. We are growing really fast, around 20% per week. And we have a community call every single day of the week, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. Central European time. Join us on Discord. This Substack, there is a Substack article for this video. Check it out. And of course, again, I need your help to make this channel grow. So like and subscribe, and see you on the next video. Ciao.